Hey everybody, I'm SteamDeck, and we are here with another session of the Round Table of Fools. Some of us are nincompoops, some of us are idiots, some of us are ne'er-do-wells. That's right, see, look at our all acknowledging. Tonight we have Green Bear, Jerry Formal, Tommy, special guest star, Blinktron. Woo! Tonight we plan on talking about things and stuff. I think we're hitting the random button tonight. We're just gonna kind of riff and see what we got going on. So smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to know when I post again. That'll get you a chance to see whenever I post these videos or when I come online and stream, because I never know when I can because of life. But I have a good video card and it seems to be working pretty damn nice. Oh. So yeah, I'm so excited. But now the host of our show, Tommy. Take it away, Tommy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Tommy Scott. We are on STN Radio. We are also on youtube.com/PaganTech, PAGANTEK. This will be coming out Sunday, so that would be, 2 or 3 days from now. So you're listening to us in the past. Isn't that funny how technology works?
This Sunday.
In the future, yeah. there. Oh man, so yeah, we really didn't have a kind of a set topic going into this one, so we're just gonna we do have things to talk about though, and knowing us, we can probably fill up a good hour or more with just randomness. So that's what we're gonna do. But as always, we will start off with plugging our streams and our stuff and our things and our other things. So I'm gonna just as a note, I would imagine that Blinktron, aka Patrick, will probably be a regular contributor around here. So I think we may be around table of 5 rather than 4. If that's okay with
fools plural, so
yeah, it is fools.
Yes, round table of fools. Yes, that's true. More the merrier. We just need a bigger table.
In a few years, we're going to be the round table of drools.
Well, not Jerry. I mean, the rest of us will be drooling, and he'll just be like, "Why am I still doing this? I can't hang out with all these old men anymore."
Shouldn't be anyway.
I've got to go to work. Damn it! Can't put up with you infantile people.
So,
isn't adulting fun?
No, it's terrible. I hate it.
You did start your new job though, so
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And how was it?
Not too bad, honestly. Working curbside at a grocery store isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
He's one of those people that goes in, you order something on the app or you order ahead, and he goes around the grocery store and gets gathers all the groceries and then bags them up and takes them out.
A grocery orangutan.
You're the personal shopper. Yes.
Yeah, in a manner of speaking, I guess so. But do you, sir, have anything to plug this week? I don't think you do, but I always have to ask.
Nope. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Same question to you. What?
What?
No. Same question to Patrick. Anything to plug?
I do have a plug this week.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
Oh my God.
Oh, nice. That's quality plug there.
Gag, but on the radio, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck's he doing?" He held up a plug charger. Anyway, so we'll just move right down the line. So Green Bear, give us your spiel.
Today.
Nothing really new to report.
Okay.
The Green Bear at twitch.tv/The Green Bear. Been goofy. Been playing a lot of Warframe lately. They released a new expansion last week, and it's been absolutely consuming me. A lot of my viewers have been playing it too, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. Come up and see me sometime.
Okay, and that's twitch.tv/the Green Bear, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought I said that. Sorry.
Times in several different places. So I think, I can't remember a lot, but I do remember that. Pagan Tech.
That would be twitch.tv/Pagantech, PAGANTEK. I'm usually streaming some form of flight simulator or science space stuff like Kerbal Space Program or Elite Dangerous or my current jam, which is Star Citizen. Although the flight simulator is about to drop its update. Content update number 5, and that's supposed to do a whole host of updates to the engine. They're talking 60% frame rate increase.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's very impressive. So this is leading up to the Xbox release for Flight Simulator, and they are working on getting the engine upgraded to DirectX 12. And I think they said they were doing Vulkan stuff as well, but I know it's at least DirectX 12. So that's what's going on.
Cool. And now, before we move on, you and you were talking to somebody. It might have been you and Patrick talking. Did you say that they put out they did an update or a patch or something for Elite Dangerous that really sort of borked everything, or is just not or what's the story with that? I guess is what I'm asking.
For the core gamers of Elite Dangerous, which were just the flyers, there's not terrible. There's not too much that it changed. There were some visual things that changed. The planet generation tech changed a little bit and really screwed up a lot of the really nice looking planets. But they tried to bolt on a gameplay that wasn't fleshed out, didn't add anything to the game itself, and charged it as almost a full gameplay, as a full game price rather than just it's a DLC for $20. No, it's like $45. And they're supposed to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. However, they did just release a statement that said their 6-month release date for the console version to Odyssey has been indefinitely delayed with no date of release because they are going to focus on fixing the gameplay on the PC first, which will trickle out to the consoles.
No, that's good at least. And the name of the update was Odyssey. Is that what I'm understanding?
That is correct. Yep, Odyssey.
Okay.
I was really interested in the space legs aspect of things, getting out of the ship, and I was hoping for ship interiors and a little bit more customized station interiors and different planetary atmosphere effects that just really kind of were boring as hell. And the space legs, they didn't give us ship interiors. They said, oh, we're not doing that. Sorry, never mind. I know you guys wanted it, and I know we promised it since 2014, but no, we're not giving that to you, so fuck off. That was kind of their stance on it. And it pissed off a lot of people.
Hard no on that.
Yeah. But as far as classic players, like Blinktron was really heavy into the flight and exploration side of things, not so much getting out. How did that patch feel for you? I mean, you kind of came in on the...
It was more of a UI change when you're at the stations and when you're, working on the ship, working in the ship. But other than that, that's it, really. Some, graphic changes on when you hit hyperspace or witch space or whatever you want to call it. And explosion changes. That's really about it.
Yeah. And those
Things go boom prettier.
Yeah. I mean, that's not worth $45, though.
No.
That should have been a quality of life improvement when they released an improvement anyways, which they had originally planned on people who did not have...
You're a little late there, Phil.
Yeah, I know. People who did not get the Odyssey update were supposed to get the quality of life improvements when it was released on consoles anyway. But they still should have released it on consoles as a quality of life improvement. I mean, besides the Odyssey gameplay loop, which was stupid as shit.
Yeah.
So you are holding off on your Elite Dangerous playtime until they update, patch, whatever you want to call it, improve things again, or
Yeah, I definitely have enough that I can focus on other things, and some of the things that I really enjoyed in Elite Dangerous just became grinds. They didn't have a good outcome to me because I've done a lot of the engineering, and it was just more grinding on the engineering, and some of the things that were appealing to me just didn't have that much of appeal anymore. However, the Star Citizen universe, or the Star Citizen gameplay, it's gorgeous, and you actually have space legs. They're meaningful, they're impactful. You have ship interiors. They're meaningful, they're impactful. They actually do have function for gameplay loops, and so I mean it's just a more fleshed out universe rather than go fly, do fly, and that's it.
Including hiding murderers in your ship.
Yeah.
That game though, isn't it technically still in alpha?
Yes.
Yep. It is
And
an alpha.
He's trying to talk me into buying into it.
Well, now keep in mind, I'm talking you into paying for a buy into the game. Yes, that's fine. Okay, fine. However, there's no reoccurring cost, and you could buy now and enjoy the alpha testing that they're doing. Watch as the game grows, or you can wait until it's released to the public and buy in then, because it's going to be fascinating, and it's really neat watching these different things change. They're in the current patch cycle from 3.13 to 3.14. This new patch actually has cloud effects for gas giants and a cloud city that you land in, that you fly around in.
Yeah, we talked about that, I think, last week. And remember, or it was either last week or week before, and you actually linked a video.
Yeah.
And I watched that video, and that looks really, really cool. And
It's amazing stuff. And
that was for the
for
fart
gameplay.
episode, and where we were all laughing our asses off. And you mentioned gas giant, and it was all Green and I could do to not just like bust out laughing again. And yeah,
Good. That was fun.
So, just for you, Mr. Pagan Tech, I will probably be buying in before Dragon Con, because apparently there is going to be something going on up there around that time for Star Citizen.
Oh, nice. I have a code that I'll have to get to you. It gives you an extra 5,000 credits in game, so it doubles what you have to start with, and it does something for me, but I don't remember what it is.
That's cool. And so by buy-in, you mean, I think it's like you buy a ship technically,
Yes.
that you can
You buy a ship,
Yeah.
and with the certain level, you also get the single-player version of the game, plus the ability to play the multi-user version.
That's pretty cool.
Depending on how far you want to get into it, you could buy an entry-level ship in the single-player game and the public universe. For, I think it's what, $65, $69, something like that.
Something like that.
Nice.
But then you can keep expanding and getting bigger and bigger ships, and you can actually buy other ships to get in game, and the ships are permanently attached to you. If they're not like the in-game stuff, so you can lose those in-game ships. They're permanently attached to you, the ones that you buy with real money. And some people consider it kind of scamish and sleazy. Specifically one person I'm looking at. But I think that, you're buying into, especially at the $69 version.
Nice.
It's the public universe, which is the test bed for all of the engine and all of the gameplay that's going into the single player game. The single player game, when it is released, and the ship is just kind of part of the add-on that allows you to do something while you're in the public universe.
Sweet.
So, Mr. Tom, our friend Mr. Garner down in Augusta told me about the possible event, and he may actually join us up there for a day.
I think you might have put that in Discord chat or something. Yeah, I when in that brief 2 years when we moved back to North Augusta, we hung out with Rick and Morgan a good bit, actually. We had fun. But yeah, I've known Rick for years and years and years. But yeah, it would be good definitely be good to see him again and hang out. See just what you said, he's just going to get like a day pass or something, maybe.
Yeah, because he's the one that told me there might be an event around that time,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and he's big into it. I didn't understand exactly what he said, but Pagan Tech might understand. He said he has some large ship that's a 4-seater
Yeah. In
in
Star Citizen?
in Star Citizen. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a big ship. That's a medium ship. I mean, the single seaters are smalls. The 4-seaters are medium. You can go all the way up to the Hammerhead, which is almost a capital ship. It's got 4 live turrets that are manned and 4 seats on the bridge. And yeah, it's and that's in game too.
Your own bridge crew.
Yeah, I can show you the Hammerhead either in a stream one day or when you come in. They have one that is on display at one of the ship sale vendors in game.
Okay.
So I never did get to do any plugs because we jumped right into video game discussion, which was my fault because I asked the question. So I'll be brief. STNradio.com. That's where you find Signal to Noise Radio. We broadcast music 24 hours a day. We have live DJs on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Go to the website and check the schedule, which, by the way, I was just discussing with my partner in crime / lovely wife. I'm probably going to be updating the website soon, like a redesign, because right now it's all just a single page, which is good for simplicity, but bad for like a phone. Because if it's on a big screen, it looks great. But if it's on a phone, it's like, that long and you have to scroll and scroll. And so, so I'm going to I'm going to upgrade my package with GoDaddy, update the website, blah, blah, blah. So that's on the way. I will have a new episode of Noise Tangent out on Monday. And this podcast should also be published on Monday. Those are both at anchor.fm / roundtable of fools or anchor.fm / noise tangent. I have started doing a little bit of streaming, but I have discovered that my system, while it can handle, say, Cyberpunk really well, it can't handle Cyberpunk and simultaneously pushing that signal and everything out to Twitch. So Blinktron was doing a little investigative work, and so will I actually, if we can get those two things separated, because I have 2 video cards in my machine. I have a 1080 Ti, which runs Cyberpunk beautifully. And
yeah, that 1080 Ti will.
Yeah, and then the other one is a GTX 960, which we were thinking if maybe we could get that card to handle the processing for the Twitch stream or something like that. But we can talk about that later. And that's another thing that I was going to say too. I streamed on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday maybe. Just messing around and experimenting basically. And I found that when I tried to play Cyberpunk and stream it at the same time, they both run kind of like ass. So I'm not going to do that. But I did stream. So here's something interesting. Pagan Tech, you remember you and I were going back and forth about, why is Cyberpunk running so badly? And, the primary video card, secondary, we were going into. Well, what I did is I ended up just shutting the computer down, taking the side off, and physically swapping the video cards in the slots, put everything back together, and now the 1080 Ti is video card 0, or however they designate it, and then the other one is video card 1, or adapter 1 or whatever they call it. Yeah, and that seemed to work, but so that was actually pretty easy the other night. And so, like I said, if I'm just playing Cyberpunk, it runs great. So I'll probably save the streaming because like what I was doing the other day was I was streaming while I was editing the latest episode of Noise Tangent, which is not particularly gripping, streaming, but it's something, and that seemed to work fine. I think Patrick tuned in for a while, and I guess it was okay. Yeah, because you said it was that I was echoing, and I had to cut one of the things down in OBS or something. So anyway, So that's where you can find me, and that's twitch.tv/malignant gnome. And just to launch into a very brief story about Malignant Gnome, probably my second, maybe my third year at Penzic. So this would have been 2002 or 3 or 4, somewhere back there. There were a bunch of us sitting around a campfire and talking all things geeky, basically. And we were talking about gaming. And it came around to me, and I was like, well, I always play a dwarf. I always consider myself a dwarf. And my friend Carla on the other side of the fire was like, you know what? I've always kind of considered you more of a malignant gnome. And everybody got a pretty good chuckle out of that. And so that's been the joke in camp for years. So when I was trying to come up with a name for my Twitch stream, I was like, oh, Malignant Gnome it is. So, because the other one was just, I don't remember what I changed it to, but I'm not going to use it anymore. Anyhow, so Jerry Formal, do me a favor if you haven't done so already. Look up the stats for the SteamDeck that we were.
Oh yes.
That we were.
Already got it pulled up myself.
You do.
Okay. Well then.
Googling over.
Yes.
I've actually got the actual page for it on the Steam store pulled up, and it's got all the tech and all the stats and software and everything for it.
Well, lay the
Wow.
stats on us.
Are you looking at it, Pagan Tech?
Yes,
It looks like a beefy little beast,
it does.
and also it can be used as a secondary monitor.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's. I've been looking at a couple things on the hardware. So let's see hardware. Let's see the tech specs. Here we go. Processor is an AMD APU, CPU Zen 2 4C, blah, 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 blah. Words, letters, things
Blah,
like
that matters.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the whole
Right.
point.
Okay, then I'll just give you exactly as put out here.
Yes.
CPU is a Zen 2 4C/8T, 2.4-35 gigahertz, up to 448 gigaflops, FP32.
That's 4 cores, 8 threads, and 2.4 to 3.5 when it gets clocked up all the way, for a combination of 448 gigaflops using the 32-bit floating point.
You
That
take
help?
it away.
What?
You
Wait.
take it away. You
Oh,
you
shit.
speak it more fluently than I do.
Oh, fine.
And I'm just lazy, so I'm not going to do any of it. So that's why I'm
Same
hosting,
here.
so you guys get to read shit.
So the GPU internally is an 8-core RDNA. It's the 8 RDNA 2 compute units at 1.0 to 1.6 gigahertz, and that has a combined teraflops of 1.6 teraflops using the 32-bit floating point. It says that it uses 4 to 15 watts.
So about that, remember a couple weeks ago we were discussing you having a video port that wouldn't work? Tommy?
Me? Oh, Tommy.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the type of chip you would have needed for that. It's an APU chip with a built-in video. Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time I have to upgrade my processor, which hopefully won't be for a while, because I got a good one. I got an AMD 3700 or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ryzen 7 3700. Yeah, X. Hopefully, I won't have to upgrade it anytime soon. But when I do, I will be sure, because I use all my video ports. I will be sure to remember an APU. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so if you have a Ryzen 7 3700, the motherboard you have should be able to handle any of the newer video cards. So all you would need is literally a new video card.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like I said, after the experiment with Twitch streaming, I say, like, if I when I was streaming when I was editing the other day, it was fine. I mean, I didn't have any stutter either when I was working or in the stream, or at least not that I saw. But when you get something a bit more graphically intensive, or at least as graphically intensive as Cyberpunk is, that's when everything starts to come to a crawl. So definitely on my agenda to save up for and buy is going to be another 16 gig of RAM and a decent, well, I'd say, again, not that this one isn't decent, but a better, stronger, faster video card, like a GTX 3070, 3080, something like that, something that'll
Oh,
keep me.
just something small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little something. Yeah.
Hmm,
I mean,
that's
if
a
I'm
little something.
saving money anyway, it might as well be a decent card, right?
Yeah.
Well, true.
So
Anyway,
that
Anyway, sorry for
has
the interruption.
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead with the, go
no,
ahead
that's
with
all good.
the Steam Deck. Sorry about that.
It comes with 16 gigs on board RAM. It is DDR5, and it's running at 5,500 megahertz.
Dang.
So the three different versions are 64, 256, and 512 gig. Those are all. Well, the 64 gig looks like it's a slower, a slower bank of memory than the 256 and the 512. The 256 and 512 are full NVMe Gen 3s, so that's nice and speedy.
Yeah.
I would recommend going with the 256 at least, because the 64 gig might get you in the door, but it's going to be just a hair slower. All models include high-speed micro SD card slot. Woo!
So you can add additional storage. That is nice because none of
Yes.
the other handhelds do that. Not really. Now
That's
the
true.
key is going to be if you can actually install
Well-
games to that card.
The Switch does. Switch you could add cards to.
Yeah, but I didn't think you could install anything to those. You could only install to the internal.
I am not sure. I'm not a Switch user. We have one.
Jerry,
You put games on your card. I do.
Yeah.
On the external card?
On the SD card that you pop into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can put games on there.
so the SD card for the Switch, and I'm assuming for the Steam Deck as well, if you put in a 32 gig SD card, for example, that gives you more space to store games on board.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
In fact, if you were to get a new Switch, like let's say you got a new Switch for whatever reason, you can make them both your account. Or if you need to trade one, like say it's broken or for whatever reason, you get your SD card, you put it in. When you set up your new Switch, they can transfer your account to it, and anything you have on your card gets locked to this new Switch as opposed to the old one.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd have to open a new account and buy new shit all over again.
Gotcha. Yeah, because we've got actually two Switches in the house. We've got a standard Switch, and then we've got a was it the Switch Lite? I think they called it. But I only ever played
yeah.
Animal Crossing on it though. So.
Oh,
there you go.
I'm curious how hot this thing's going to run because running at 5,500 megahertz on that memory is going to be kind of warm.
It's like
Yeah.
the Switch; it's got its vents across the top, so it'll put out the heat.
Yeah,
You
it
know
does
what?
have an internal fan.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that because about maybe a month after, because we initially got the Switch for Jerry for Christmas or something, and then months later the pandemic hits, so I started playing on the Switch. But then about a month or two after I started playing on it, the cooling fan started making it started going bad, making a noise, and then it would stop, which of course is not good because everything was heating up there. So I looked up online. I bought a replacement fan and took the thing apart, put the new fan in, put everything back together, and it's worked like a charm ever since. But I get nervous taking apart high dollar items when you have little tiny components that you can lose and break very easily. I'm used to working on computers, full size computers, not even laptops. I don't even work on laptops a whole lot.
I love working on laptops.
I hate working on laptops, dude.
That's my jam. I dig that.
Oh, no. I always lose all the little screws and fuck it. We only need 4 out of the 8. It's fine.
I mean, technically, you're right.
But yeah, so I was pretty proud of myself for doing that and not screwing anything up.
Good, yeah.
So do we? Thank you. Do we know when the Steam Deck is scheduled to come out? A, and B, what's going to be MSRP on this beastie?
Well, it's supposed to start shipping in early December.
Oh, okay.
According to their thing. Now there are 3 distinct models. I'm scrolling down to it.
Mhm.
There are 3 different models. Each one, of course, has its own little nice what's what I'm looking for, selling points. Here we go. Like I said, there are 3 price ranges. Where the hell did it go? It used to be right there. Pardon me.
Down towards the bottom third of the
Right.
main page.
Yeah,
Here we go. I got it.
yeah.
All right. So the first one is 64 gigs of eMMC internal storage and a carrying case. That's $399 with
Okay.
64 gigabytes. The next price up is $529. It's 256 gigabytes. That comes with the 256 gigabytes NVMe SSD internal storage.
Oh yeah, that's the one you want right there. Yeah.
That's the one I was
That's just-
telling you about.
Faster storage, comes with a carrying case, and you get an exclusive Steam Community Profile Bundle.
Oh.
So you've got bragging rights, such as saying that
Yeah.
they
Well, no,
gave half your money to Valve for them.
the third one is the bragging rights. Oh my god.
Oh, geez, yeah, it is
The
actually.
third one is
Wow.
512 gigabytes
Okay.
of NVMe SSD internal storage, so faster storage. Premium anti-glare etched glass. That appeals to me.
Hmm.
Exclusive carrying case.
Oh.
Exclusive Steam Community Profile Bundle, and exclusive virtual keyboard theme.
Ooh.
I gotta need a towel. I'll be right back.
I love tech porn. And that one, that beast comes in at $649.
Hmm.
Damn, another $129 for double the storage, faster, and etched glass.
Or I could take that $629 and buy a kick-ass video card
Or an Oculus 2.
or an
Yeah.
Oculus too.
It's
all
funny.
fair.
It says that it's the fastest storage. They're the same generation. The 512 and the 256 are both NVMe PCI 3s.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, the 512 was X4.
Yeah, so is the 256.
Oh, it is. PCI
Yeah.
Engine 3 X4. So you're just paying for. You're just literally just paying for double the storage.
Yeah.
and all the
Depending on the-
exclusive stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
It
depending
includes-
on what the manufacturer of that NVMe, it might have a slightly higher clock speed for pushing in and out, but the specs are saying it's the same. PCIe Gen 3 X4s, both of them, and the 512 says high speed NVMe SSD. I wonder if it has painted flames on it.
Yeah, flames are like red pinstripes,
Yeah.
red racing stripes.
Yeah,
Funny you should say that because my NVMe does have flames on it.
yeah. That
Well,
thing
it's-
must be
Yeah,
super
that's right,
fast.
Fast. That's right. Now you know it's fast.
I should also add that there is a $5 reservation fee for all three of these models, which it's it's account for how many they need to produce, and it's
Yeah.
to ensure that the person who paid the fee is going to actually buy it.
Right.
Hmm.
Um, go ahead.
I was just going to say something else about it that they're assuming it works as smoothly and as properly as it does, as it's saying it does. There are a lot of features on the design that I find very superior to the Switch. A couple points in case. On the Switch, you're holding your Switch. You got you're gripping up here. Instead of going up and down, which for me, if I'm playing a game and I have to switch up and down, it requires my whole hand to rock. I have to shift it. I got fat hands. On theirs, the thumbstick and the buttons are next to each other, so it feels like a much more natural movement back and forth.
Okay.
Now the other thing is on the Switch, you've only got this little raised part here with the shoulder buttons, or the bumpers are calling them now, bumpers, and then the triggers. This whole area right here is flat, and I feel all the time like I'm about to drop it or break it. I've even bought a couple of those extensions that actually add handles for the full length of the Joy-Con, or the ones that actually just make them a little bit bigger. You can actually get Joy-Cons that are bigger or different shape, and they interfere. They don't sit in the dock properly. They're more trouble than they're worth. This thing actually has full handles, the full length of it, so you'll actually be gripping it better. Plus, it's got actual grips on the sides of it. Now,
So it comes with pre-built love handles.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes. Plus, its speakers are actually on the sides. If assuming that this is it, it has where the buttons are here. It's got a trackpad here and on both sides. It's symmetrical, and it's got speakers and pretty much the other same features that the Switch has.
Cool. Now the big question is, what size is the screen and what resolution is the screen?
7-inch.
70,
seven-
yes.
seven.
7-inch
Yep,
screen.
7. 1280 by 800.
1280 by 800. Okay. Not quite full HD, but not bad.
Nope. You were talking about the trackpads. One of the things I'm seeing says that the trackpads have built-in haptic feedback in the pad.
Ooh, that's
I
kinda
think
cool.
that's
appeals to
really
me.
cool.
Yeah.
That appeals to me.
Yeah. I don't think, just despite how cool this thing sounds, I don't think I would buy one simply because, as we all know, I'm not much of a gamer, so I don't know that I would really get my money's worth out of it. But like
Same.
Jerry probably would, and pretty much
Oh,
any
definitely.
you guys probably would as well.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
yeah.
I'm not a
Sure.
portable gamer. I like to sit at my computer and game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Uh,
there.
That's kind of because I'm a graphics whore, though, because I really like that heavy textures, and I can see this running in a lot of. I mean, you're running on a screen that's 7 inches. That's probably not going to be super good for 4K texturing. Like I like.
Yeah.
Now, this also touts on here that says because you can use the deck as a PC because it is one. You can install and use PC software, of course, browse the web, watch streaming video, do your normal productivity stuff, install some other games, whatever. The Switch you can't do any of that.
Right.
But it looks like it does, and it can and does function as a secondary screen. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be
for streaming on location somewhere.
Yeah.
But the question is, though, could you run VR off of it?
You
No.
can stream
No,
it.
not with the APU.
You could probably cast.
That
I don't
APU is
know.
not strong enough.
Because
Yeah,
and when you're casting, it's the PC that's doing the VR rendering,
Right.
not
Well,
the
they're-
headset.
They're saying this thing will run any game you have on Steam. I'm assuming that might mean VR. I don't know.
I don't think so, but I mean, I looked a little further in. It actually has USB-C, and
Goes out to-
HDMI and DisplayPort.
so
Yes.
I would say that it's worth a shot, but maybe not, not a definite yes or no.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to wait and hear some reviews of it first. In the
On
past,
the dock, sorry, the dock has those ports.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dock.
Yeah.
I almost got the NVIDIA Shield. I was going to get that a few years ago. I was going to get the NVIDIA. There's another device that they have. Basically, it's a handheld handheld device, but that's old now. I mean, it's like easily 6, 7, 8 years old. They've been advertising it for a while, and they've stayed supporting it. I'm almost inclined to get this because they've been solid with their support of everything they've released, like the Steam controller, the Steam, not the deck, the Steam Link,
Yeah.
which Pagan Tech and I got set up at our house here recently, and it works fine.
Yeah, it's a good little device. It's a Miracast from your PC. It streams from the PC to the Steam Link, and you can play it on a PC through the Steam Link controller. It's really kind of a groovy little device, but it's pretty much only streams Steam games from your PC. Your PC has to be able to handle the game.
Yeah, I'm able to play, Tommy. I'm able to play. You know what room I'm in? You know this house I'm in. I can play my games on the PC downstairs on the big screen,
Oh,
and
wow.
there's like no lag. It's works great.
That's pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, because that's a big ass screen downstairs. So yeah, that's actually really super cool. And
So to understand a little bit more about this APU and the graphics side of things, I mentioned something called a compute unit. It has 2 compute units. Now, compute units are something that the AMD RDNA chipsets use instead of shader cores like NVIDIA. They use compute units. It's basically the same damn thing. You throw a program on it, it does computations, and then it renders out. Now, the 6800 XT, the one that's the beast, has 72 compute units on it.
Wow.
This has 2 compute units on it. It will render, but it's not going to be anywhere near as beastly as a desktop PC.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Speaking of all things Steam, since we are on the subject, Jerry and I were talking yesterday, the day before, I guess. October, everybody mark your calendar. We're going to download and install Back for Blood, and we're all going to stream Back for Blood. 'cause
Yes.
That's going to be
Yes.
freaking awesome. That's going to be
Hell
so.
yes.
And we should honestly, we should try to get together and do a Left 4 Dead 2 stream as well, just for funsies. But we definitely need to make plans for Back for Blood, and everybody have a Back for Blood night and stream it and do, because I don't know about you guys, but I loved when that's how these Thursdays actually started. I planned my whole schedule for Signal to Noise around Thursdays because we were doing Left 4 Dead on Thursdays. We would stream it and everybody would play together. So we definitely need to do something like that for Back for Blood. But I would definitely like to pick an evening when we are all, I mean, our schedules are all over the place, I realize, but pick a day and play some Left 4 Dead again too, just to sort of tide us over until Back for Blood comes out. Because
another thing to put on the calendar is August 24th.
okay,
Holy
10
shit,
days
that's
after my birthday.
yeah. Aliens Fire Team Elite.
Yes.
Wait, you get to play Marines?
Yes. Marines, yeah, you're a fire team of hardened Marines. You're dropped into a desperate fight to contain the evolving xenomorph threat.
Sanchez.
Is that going to
And
be?
the sound is so accurate. I was listening to one of the preview videos, and that's that big ass gun. You know, it's got that specific
gun.
sound. Yeah, smart gun.
Is that going to be a Steam game?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll probably hop on that too because that sounds fun.
Game will unlock in approximately 5 weeks.
What's it called again?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that
Fire
close?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that close.
We're
August
almost done
24th.
with July.
Patrick,
I know. Don't remind me.
Aliens
I know.
Fire Team.
Oh, I already got it pulled up.
And then about Back for Blood, there is a open beta running from August 12th to the 16th. But if you pre-order before then, there will be a early access to the beta from the 5th to the 9th.
Ooh.
So that's also something to take into consideration.
Yes.
So that's next month. Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming it's the same team that made Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2?
No. So
Oh.
what the deal is that Left 4 Dead. Sorry, no. So the studio that is creating Back for Blood, Turtle Rock, they had the initial idea for Left 4 Dead, but then Valve bought out that IP and made it their own. So then Turtle Rock is now essentially doing what they were going to do before, which is Back for Blood.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that'll be cool. I can't wait for that.
Certainly, yes.
Got some zombies. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's calling this Left 4 Dead 3, basically. So, yeah.
Everyone's calling it Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, and then quite honestly, I'm not mad about that because that sounds awesome. Yeah, not mad. Cool. Well, I'm trying to think if has anybody made any changes to their setups, hardware wise or software wise. I know Pagan Tech has since gotten himself a new video card and upgraded to Windows, an early Windows 11.
Oh, you had to remind me of that pain point, didn't you?
Well, you did it to yourself, buddy. Yeah,
You're right. You're not wrong. It has definitely been a struggle.
Yeah.
Windows 11 has done a lot of shifts in the management of Windows that they've been wanting to do in Windows 10. When Windows 7 was out, we still had leftovers of the control panel and various things. Actually, I think there was just the control panel. I don't think they actually went into settings. Windows 10 came out. They had the settings panel and the control panel, two different mechanisms to manage the computer. This one doesn't really have control panel. It's very difficult to get to. It has all the settings buried in the settings menu. What's that? I'm sorry.
I say I'm a control panel guy. I mean, that's the first thing I go to when I'm looking to set something on Windows or check something is the control panel.
Yeah, it's all buried in the settings menu, and the settings menu is set up tree-like, so you start one level and then you work your way through into other levels. It doesn't break out into other sub-programs.
Yeah. You know, I
Yeah.
wouldn't Windows release if they didn't shuffle things around and make things confusing for people that's been doing this for 25 years, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
And also on the, I haven't actually changed anything, but Jerry Formal got himself a new chair.
I did, yes.
Fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
Purple GT racing chair.
Nice.
124, I think. 124. Isn't too bad.
It's not too bad.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You guys
Is your
still-
business failing?
Oh, yeah. Business Comcast is sucking ass.
Oh yes,
Here we go. Okay.
it's fine
Yeah,
now.
there
I
you go.
think.
You've recovered.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Last night it was kind of fluctuating, and I thought, well, maybe it was something I was doing, so I shut a bunch of stuff down. And no, it was just because Comcast sucks balls. You know, I mean, the service is better than we were getting on Xfinity, but nonetheless, it's still, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's still Comcast. So
I mean, it's the same platform, yeah.
yeah, it is. I mean, and honestly, we can't. That's really the only option we've got here. We've got, you know, Xfinity, Comcast Business, obviously, and then Windstream, I think, which is ADSL or something, and it's just atrocious. So, you know, it's the best we can do with what we got. So hopefully they'll run fiber down here into the valley where we live one of these days. But I'm not holding my breath, you know, because we're a Comcast area apparently. So anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jerry got himself a new chair. So oh, that's what I was gonna say. So I got myself a new chair too. Well, new to me. I found a lady on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm a cheapskate. I'll admit it. Every chair that I've ever gotten, I think I've gotten one, like, go to Staples, buy a new chair, and put it together. Other than that, I always buy used chairs from people off of Craigslist or, in this case, Facebook Marketplace. And it works out pretty well. I mean, this is like a leather chair. It's nice. You know, I didn't pay that much for it. But so we were gonna, you know, I was like, okay, well, you know, we'll take my chair out of here and either we'll store it in the garage and use it there to watch, or we can put this. Like, oh,
Oh, we're losing them again.
Wow. He's gone full robot on us.
He's going
You
full
just did-
slideshow.
Hold the fill.
Oh, yeah. Look at that artifacting. Wow. That compression's ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay, we're good now. Yes, we're good. Sort. No.
Sort of.
Maybe. Perhaps.
Possibly.
Maybe. Mayhaps.
I think Tommy's frozen up. Oh, no, he's just not moving.
I think he's pissed.
I'm seething is what I'm doing right now. Actually, Hulk smash. I don't even remember what I was talking about now.
How Comcast sucks, I think.
Well, previously.
You're still getting choppy on and off.
Wow. Did
I
we
don't
lose
remember
him?
what I was-
Oh.
No, I'm here. No, I
Okay.
don't remember what we were talking about. What were we talking about? Help me out here.
Back for blood. Chairs.
Chairs.
Cheapskate. Cheapskate.
So, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, you know, if you want to use this chair, and Jerry was like, nope, I already bought a chair online. I was like, oh, okay. So we now have two spare chairs, one of which is either going to get put on Facebook Marketplace either for free or for like $10, or, you know,
You're being charitable with it.
I'm running a charity, you might say.
Man, that disconnect button's looking real tasty right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, you might want to check yourself on that one.
Yeah.
Woo!
Sounds like it blew out an O.
You got some great ones on this round.
Oh,
I heard that one in full. Oh.
It's still not coming through the feed, but we can hear it quite clearly.
yeah, you can hear it clearly, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
You blew an O-ring.
I said it so the microphone is not picking up the speakers, so it does really good.
Who is that?
A little bit of a delay. I don't have the real long one anymore, which is great. So
Oh, it sounds like you blew a seal on that one.
Woo!
What that seal?
The damn thing and leave my private life out of it, okay?
That's a very good
the
song.
Fart episode part 2. By the way, I love that you named the last episode the fart episode. I got a good laugh out of that.
I'm so sorry about the echo in there. That's so on me, and that's why I went back to the headset. So, but
editing
yeah,
that-
that was a good episode.
When I was editing that, I laughed just as hard as I did the other night when we were all cracking up. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Who doesn't love a good fart joke? I mean,
That's
seriously.
true.
A Karen.
Oh my
It
god.
has to work naturally into the conversation, though.
We're beginning to sound more and more like Monty Python.
I guess you'd have to say it'd be organically involved.
Oh. Anyhow, what else were we going to talk about this evening, or do we want to take a break, or do we want to launch into something else here? Let it give everybody time to recover.
Shit.
Wow.
Almost.
Almost, yeah.
Almost, yeah.
The prequel.
So on the Back for Blood and
Yes.
Alien Isolation, not Isolation,
Fire
Fire
team.
team.
Fire
Team.
Team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fire team.
The only sad thing is it's only 4-player.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is Back for Blood only 4 players as well?
Both of them, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Well, we can always take turns. We can always rotate out.
Well, good thing I usually play by myself anyway, so.
EMI.
No.
Oh,
play-
wait.
He said,
Oh my.
"Ain't not with."
I didn't mean that, I swear.
And they
says.
froze. That was perfect timing.
Wow.
You leaned into that one there, Tommy.
And he froze again. It's just long enough for him to get it, right?
It's so bad.
Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take it. I'm gonna router. How about that?
That sounds good.
Router? He's gonna reread the router.
Reread the router.
Boot the router. Posers.
Oh.
Closer to the mic doesn't help when you sound like a robot.
This is
All
true.
right. Okay. So what time? I don't even know what time it is. Okay.
It is 8:15. Yeah.
Let's call it 8:30. So like 15 minutes, so we can get
Okay,
stuff to
sounds
the
good.
snack and whatnot. So I'm gonna shut down and restart the Comcast Devil router. Anyway, so Devil router, right?
You didn't
so,
do your daily sacrifice, did you?
you know what? I think I forgot to do that. I think that may be what the problem is. I know. All right, what are you gonna do? Okay, so 8:30 then.
All right.
Break.
Sounds good.
And he froze immediately.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
nice.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Just
Wow. Hey,
absolutely wonderful.
we return to ASMR starring Green Bear. Yeah.
How's it going, eh?
Wow. That's amazing.
It's a beauty.
I hate this so much.
Hey, everybody, we're back. Thanks for joining us. I'm pretty stoked that you were able to join us as well. We've had a pretty successful break, and I hope that you have as well. So let's get into this.
So you're just gonna fart and then just turn it over to me. I see how it is.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Gotta let it air out a little bit.
That's true.
It's got to be organic.
Gotta let it
Gotta have a
flow.
little bit of gotta have an organic flow to the whole thing.
That's right. Better out than in, right? Yeah.
Hey, Fiona.
Yeah. That's hey, Fiona. All right. Well, yes, we are into our second half. We still have no certain topic. We have been just sort of hammering through just some random stuff, quite honestly. We spoke briefly about Loki, but not all of us have seen the finale yet, so we're not going to go any further into Loki. We have watched up to the fifth or at least Patty and I have watched up to the fifth episode. I have been working on. I've been watching Star Wars Rebels. I watched another 4 episodes or something last night. Great show. It was the one where, or one of them is where when they get Captain Rex back, they find him on that planet with those 2 other old clones. So that was cool. Having watched, the Clone Wars and all that. So that's been pretty good. Trying to think. So last week, well, we cut the cord for Xfinity, and so we're just strictly streaming on Comcast Business, mainly because of this reason here. But obviously, we stream all of our TV and whatnot now. And I was wrestling with, local channels. Well, we don't watch a whole lot of local channels, but like, for example, Lego Masters comes on Fox on Tuesday nights, and we really like that show. So I got a digital antenna, and it's in the garage, so it picks up some channels, but not all of them, and of course not Fox. So I was trying this and that and the other thing, and then I just wait a minute, I wonder if they have a streaming app. And they do. So I downloaded the Fox, it's called Fox Now or something like that. And they've got all the previous episodes available, and we'll be able to watch the new one when it comes out and all that stuff. So we have to catch up on I think 2 or 3 episodes we were thinking. So that will probably take place this weekend, I would think. Actually, Saturday, we are going to Kennywood, which is our local amusement park. So that's going to be fun. We got tickets a while back and had to change our dates a couple of times. So I think we're going on Saturday. Weather is looking pretty decent. But one of the cool things that they do is if you get rained out while you're in the park, they give you rain checks. So you basically get tickets to come back another day, which is nice, and you can come back whenever you want to. And we're gonna pack lunches and stuff and eat there and whatnot. So it's gonna be fun. But I may have to just let the auto DJ run Saturday and into Saturday night because I'm not gonna be here. So JD show, a shot of JD might get delayed until next week, and then at 9 and on Saturday. Oh no, Saturday and then is me as the dance party. So no big deal. I can just defer that stuff until the following Saturday and just let the auto DJ do its thing.
Are you ever going to invite John Big Boutte on?
Who?
Oh, Big Booty.
Boutte!
No idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you make me sad sometimes.
Well, I try.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, I haven't seen Buckaroo Banzai in probably 25 years or more. I don't even own it on DVD or Blu-ray.
That's sad. That's really
or
sad.
8mm or VHS or Laserdisc.
This is me judging you.
Oh, I
Yes.
know. Well, believe me, I know.
All the judging is happening.
Yeah, all of the judging. I haven't seen Buckaroo Banzai across the fifth dimension or something like that. I haven't seen that in easily 25 years. So before we move any further, let's do t-shirt check. What's everybody wearing tonight?
I have a nope rope.
Oh, Phil's got a okay camera. Nice with all the Cobra Shelby, very cool.
I'm wearing the work T-shirt that I had neglected.
Wearing your work
to
shirt. Green Bear has chosen to go with basic black again,
Have to
and
make the beard pop.
Yeah, that's true.
and I've got Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I was going to
Nice.
wear my tie-dye, but the green on the tie-dye kept fading out because of the green screen, and it was like, what's wrong with his head?
Tommy, please tell me you saw that car commercial with the Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Yes, once. Yes, I did
You
see
can
it.
still find it. It's on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
God, it blew my mind. It was so well done.
Anytime I want to find an old commercial, they're all on YouTube. In fact, I grabbed some audio from one. You remember well, first of all, they had the series of Geico commercials. I mean, they still got Geico commercials, but I mean, the one in particular was the camel walking through the office talking about hump day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cracked me up every time. Anyway, I grabbed some audio from that commercial and put it in one of my sweepers for when I do when I do stuff on Wednesdays. And I just looked it up on YouTube, and right there it was. All right, so let's see. What do we got? What do we got next? Who's got something to talk about? I had something in my mind, and then it kind of went.
There was some discussion that was needed about Dragon Con and people.
Yes.
That's later. That's after.
Oh, that's after. Okay. All right.
Oh, all right.
Now we can talk about what's going on at Dragon Con.
Yeah, let's do that because I plan on bringing my gear so we can do sort of almost like a mini round table of fools kind of a deal there, and I could like hopefully interview a couple of people. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Cybertronic spree.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to see them. Do any of you know if Steam Powered Giraffe is going to be there?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Do you know who these people are?
They were there the last time we were there, so back in 2019.
Last time I went, they were there, but I got my picture taken with a couple of them, but there were like two that were off somewhere else in the con.
So, Green, when is the last time you attended Dragon Con?
It would have been with the gentleman in the other corner, Mr. Blinktron in the blue shirt. So that would have been about
2018?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would love to go again.
Yeah, last time I went, we've discussed this, but the last time I was there was probably in 2000. So
it's been a day or two.
Minute.
It's gotten huge.
Yeah.
Well, it was approximately 85,000 people in 2019.
Yeah. They're capping attendance this time, though, right?
Yes, because of
COVID.
Because of pen craziness.
Yeah.
Shit stuff.
The thing that shall not be named.
I don't want to say it.
Pen madness. Anyway. Well, cool. So that is early September. So I'm hoping to get my ticket next week, but it may be 2 weeks from then, just depending on how bills work out and stuff. So I'll let you know.
Okay.
I've got a potential SCA event coming up in October, I think, down in the mountains of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. It's a smaller event. It's not nowhere near the scale of Penzic, but a lot of the same people attend. So depending on timing and work and money and everything, I may go to that. It's just like a long weekend type of event. It's not like a 2-weeker like, Penzic is. So that might be fun. And I'm hoping to get down to
What the hell?
What?
I just had a Twitch notification. No, I'm not streaming.
Are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure you're not streaming?
Oh, no. That's bizarre.
What, did somebody just subscribe?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to push this button. Goodbye, everybody. This was not intentional. So, what? Oh, hey, Benji Musey. I appreciate the follow. I'm really baffled because this is recording a podcast and I did not think I pushed a stream button. I have a virtual camera that's looping into my chat, so yeah, Blinktron, I appreciate that. So now this has turned into rag on Pagan Tech time. So
I need this mistake for that.
Normally,
I
I'm
do
the one
need
that
to.
screws
Yeah.
up the technology. So
Yeah. Well, I do need to hit the stop streaming because I need to get back to the podcast. But thank you, Benji Moosey.
I mean, you can let it go. I mean,
Let it
unless
go. Let it ride, man.
Yeah, let it run.
See how long
Okay.
they stick around for the stupidity.
Because Lord knows we got a lot of that.
Absolutely.
In
Can they
space.
hear all of us, or is it just you?
No,
Oh,
they-
he
they
stopped
should be able to hear all of
it.
No, I restarted it.
Okay.
No, they should be able to hear all of us. And things
Oh.
such as this. No, they should be able to hear all.
They can hear
Yeah.
all of us. However,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
only see Mr. Pagan Tech.
Yeah, he's the only one on camera.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me want to turn on my stream.
If you want to.
I'm not going to turn on my stream. I'm not going to tempt fate. It was all I could do to get the virtual camera running so I can have all my cool graphics up there, you know? One thing at a time.
Wow, that was really not intended. Okay, well,
Oh, hey, you got a new follower out of it, so what the
yeah,
hell?
awesome. Thank you. I
Hey.
appreciate the follow.
Yeah, super cool.
Up to 43,
laxatives.
right?
Happy
That's a
laxative. By accident.
Yeah. Happy accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up to 43. I'm 7 away from the big 5-0.
Hey, all right.
Nice.
I'm planning on streaming. I mean, I'm gonna do games, but I also want to do like creative stuff, kind of like you do, like when I'm doing graphics or like when I'm editing, or just like what I was doing the other day, because that was fun. You know, I can throw on some copyright free music in the background and just let that run, and you know, just kind of do my thing there. So
Awkward silence.
yeah, well,
All right. Yeah.
Back home.
Yeah.
it's black.
Awkward
That was the dead
silence.
wax between the tracks on the record. Trying to think. So this past week I did a interview. Well, I don't like to call them interviews. I like to call them conversations. I had a conversation with a lady who just moved from the Pittsburgh area to Seattle, Washington. She's a singer-songwriter, and she released an EP. And she reached out to me, and she was like, "Hey, can you play my music?" I was like, "Well, send it to me." And it's pretty darn cool. Patty's got the CD upstairs now, but so I had about an hour and 20-minute conversation with her, and that's what I was editing the other day when Blinktron tuned in there. I was editing that conversation with her, and then I've potentially got another one coming up, maybe in the next week or so. An old friend of mine who used to work for the hockey team. He is hopefully going to be able to carve out some time, and we've got a lot to catch up on. Tom's a great guy, and he also has a Twitch channel, so we could talk about that. Except his Twitch channel is themed or is hockey. That's what he does. So he does a once a week like a call-in type show on Twitch. So we'll probably have a conversation with him in the next couple of days here. So yeah, Green, what sort of cool things do you have coming up on your stream? Do you have anything like planned, or it's just going to be like, let's play this, or let's play that?
I will be back momentarily.
Okay.
Usually it's that. Let's play this, let's play that. Depends on whatever my mood is. Like I said, right now, I'm really, like I said earlier, I'm really caught up in Warframe. They had just last week, they had a content update, and there's an awful lot to this update. An awful lot of new stuff has been added to the game, and I'm struggling is not the right word. I'm scrambling to play catch up. There are a couple of items. There is a game mode in Warframe called Railjack that I desperately want to get into, but when it first came out, it was really overcomplicated. It was just made far too busy than it needed to be. And then they streamlined it, but by the time they streamlined it, a lot of people who are in our group, which in Warframe they're called clans, and a lot of my clan members have just gone off and were doing their own thing and moved on to other games. So I've been kind of doing it all alone, and it's been a little bit of a fit to get the hang of it. So with this new update, that's been further streamlined. Some other older systems in the game have been streamlined. There have been some new game mechanics added to the game. In addition to a lot of new things to get, weapons, warframes, ship parts, pets, companions, combat and otherwise, plus a lot of lore has been added to the game. It's just this patch by itself contained enough. They're touting that this patch contains enough information to get somebody who's level 30 to 31. And that's an awful lot of content.
Yeah.
And being mastery rank 30, which I am, I've already got a little bit of a head start on it from when I got my mastery rank going forward. And so now I'm finding myself really focused on completing as much of the old stuff as I can before I get to the new stuff. And the completing thing is really just, of the game's several hundred weapons in it, there's one left that I don't have.
Ooh.
And I'm missing a piece from it that is going to require having a few. It'll be considerably easier and less time consuming if I have some friends on the team with me working toward it.
Is it a drop, or is it something you craft, or
It's a drop.
Burn? It is a drop. Okay.
There are these things called isovaults. I won't go into it, but there are these things called isovaults that you complete, and then there are these side missions you have to do in the isovault.
Oh, okay.
And everybody just supposed to complete the isovault and then get out of there. So, and it's the hardest, it's the highest tier isovault, which I found I can do it, but it's the rest of it. It's the side missions that get very involved, and Warframe really stresses cooperative teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it without a team, but it will be so much easier and rewarding to have players with you when you do it.
Right.
So, blah, blah, blah. Lots of new stuff. I'm getting into the new stuff. I'm trying to finish up the old stuff, and I got a taste of what the new Railjack is like, and it's amazing. I've had a number of my viewers who weren't even aware that there was space combat in Warframe. They thought it was just more Call of Duty, more Destiny. And no. The two games are not the same. But I guess it comes down to a lot of it is aesthetics. But play style, they are similar. I'll grant that. But then it's like saying a comic book is the same thing as an encyclopedia, because they both have a front and back cover and pages in the middle.
And they have words. Yeah.
Right. That's the only similarities between Warframe and Destiny.
Yeah.
And there's this huge player base that left Destiny and came to Warframe. And I recently introduced a streamer that I only came across in the past month to Warframe, and she's completely hooked on it. It's not her kind of game, but she's absolutely loving it.
Okay, that's good.
And it's been really neat getting to help somebody. That's the Warframe community is known for being inclusive. So blah, blah, blah. I'm playing still Warframe. There's some stuff coming up in the future I want to do. I want to get into my VR gaming on Thursdays. Yeah. I call it Thursdays.
Yeah.
But
so you only have one more weapon from the older stuff to get? And then there's 4 or 5 new weapons in the Railjack stuff that
there's
was released. 14
new weapons with this update.
Oh.
There are 3 new Lich weapons. There's 6 new six I think it's 6 new of the Tenet weapons, which come from the Sisters of Parvos assassins. So it's 6, 10, and then there are a couple more in the Railjack Void. And the Lich system, I played it yesterday all the way through. It's faster, it's easier to get a Lich, and the ending is so much more dramatic. They've had their voice actors come in and record new lines and new dialogue. The ending battle is fucking epic for every Lich. And it's just, oh my God, it was so much more fun and so much more rewarding. The original Lich grind was a drag, because it was the same thing per Lich. Well, now the Liches are not just using some The Liches have powers based on the warframe you use to create them. But they never use those powers, though they sure as fuck do now. It's like fighting another player. The AI they've got for it is just kicking ass, and I'm loving it. Just loving it.
So
Oh.
be careful what warframe you use to create the Lich.
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, see, the thing is, the Lich, all the Liches have a unique type of weapon. It's a Kuva version of a standard weapon, like a Kuva Ogress, a Kuva Carrack. It's very elaborate versions of their basic weapons. The Sisters of Parvos have very super high tech called Tenet weapons that are very elite versions of some of their basic weapons. The Kuva weapons are superior to the baseline version in every way, but the kind of the warframe that you use to create the Lich will affect what kind of extra damage that their weapon has. So if you want the weapon that you get from the next Lich you get to be fire, well, you should use one of these 5 or 6 frames. If you want this additional damage to be ice, you need to use one of these other frames. Each frame affects the kind of bonus damage that the weapon you get will do. So you have complete control over influencing what the weapon gives you and what the Lich gives you.
That's pretty slick.
It is. They put so much thought in. So many people. This is something that bugs me about a lot of games and a lot of game streamers, is they focus on their own personal experience and frame it as if their experience is the same experience that you will get. So they expect everyone to be upset because this little know-nothing weapon or this know-nothing thing doesn't behave the way they want it to, and so the rest of the game sucks. And I've seen this done with Destiny, I've seen it done with Warframe, I've seen it done with WoW, I've seen it done with everything. And you guys have known me long enough, like all my life, to know that I'm very much the kind of person, no. I don't expect anybody to be having the same experience or appreciation for a given thing that I do. I want you to enjoy the game, and if I can help facilitate that, like this new player I mentioned a minute ago. Not her kind of game. She was attracted by the aesthetics of it, and I have been loving playing with her and help her learn this item does that, this system does this. If you do this, you can create that, and so on.
It seems to be enjoying the hell out of it.
Yes, she does. Yeah, you've been playing with her.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it, and I love doing that with new players. Warframe is like no other game I've ever encountered, and I just love it. It ticks every box that keeps me held into a game. I'm done. Sorry.
No,
You've had your soapbox moment.
If I don't end, I will keep going, and you know damn well I will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're good at that. That's for sure.
Sorry.
Yep, nothing to apologize for. That's what we're here for.
So in the meantime, back to Sun Chips and jalapeno cheddar.
Yeah.
Jalapeno?
Jalapeno cheddar.
I'll have to beg everybody's pardon as dinner has been served late. It's been work here, and our delivery mechanism has just got in, which is the boy.
Ah,
I see. Yes.
So it's not necessarily a vehicle; it is your son in a vehicle who is the delivery. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
so what you're saying is
Better
he's
half
there
had to.
to tip the waiter?
Yeah, tip the waiter. That's right.
Oh,
Oh,
waiter.
Yeah. Christy had to work late, and so she didn't get a chance to cook dinner when she wanted to. So we said, "Go to Wendy's," and so the boy went to Wendy's on the way home.
Nice.
So go ahead, pardon me while I stuff my chaw.
Go ahead and shove food in your gob. There's some dinner time. Some
Ending
dinner
with
time.
We. Oh,
Oh yes. Anyhow.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, Wendy's. I love me some Wendy's. There's a Wendy's right around the corner from here. Green, we that's the Wendy's that we used to go to all the time when you were here. there's this woman that works there, and she's there every single goddamn time I go to this Wendy's. She walks. First of all, she's always in the back doing something. She walks up to the counter when you're there, and stands there. She doesn't say, "Can I help you? What would you like to order?" She just stands there. I'm like, can I order? Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay. And then and you know, it's you know, it's Wendy's. You know, they always get the food right. I mean, they're not unfriendly about it, but I don't know. It just bugs me for some reason. I don't know why. And every time I go in there, she's there. It's like, oh, Jesus, not again. So now I know just to start ordering, and you know, it's ridiculous. Anyway,
How are we going off Karen at a Wendy's?
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about all that, but
Some people could use a Karen.
oh yeah, no kidding. So this is something that occurred to me right before we actually started up this shindig. So without being overly verbose about it,
Like me.
well, I mean, we expect it though. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Throw out there a particular moment that stands out in your mind, like a particular memory that you have, like with everybody on the channel here. Not a group, obviously, but like individually. Like, for example, Green. One of the awesome memories I have of you is when I first started at Pizza Hut. I rode around for a couple days on deliveries with you, and we just had it was ridiculous. So we were just delivering pizzas, but we had a ball the whole time when I was learning, you know, how to deliver pizzas. I mean, you know, it's not rocket science at the end of the day. And you were driving that old Ford Fairmont. I think it was a Fairmont, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just, for some reason, whenever the topic of pizza delivery comes up, I always think of that. You and me just riding around being goobers, being idiots, but having a grand time delivering pizza. And then Patrick, I just remember hanging out like at the pit, you know, like after work, and again, Pizza Hut, you know, just goofing off and just BSing just for hours and hours. And then we lived across the street from one another. You remember that, right? Over there on Seymour.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, we lived across the street from one another.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. So Max's mom owned a house on Seymour Drive, not the best part of town. Seymour Drive, Seymour Street. I can't remember Seymour. Because we lived at 684 Seymour. I remember that because it rhymed. And that's the only reason I remember it, honestly. But Max's mom owned a little 3-bedroom house there that we rented. So it started out as Max and Topher and Jack. And Jack ended up moving back to Columbia. So then I moved in. So it was Max and Topher and myself. And we... Go ahead.
Did I not help you move into that house?
You more than likely did, yes. Yeah,
I remember that place now.
There was like the stairs on the front, because it was like up on a hill, and there was a huge staircase that went up to the front door.
I remember.
We threw the most ridiculous, stupid, epic, booze-fueled parties at that place. Just let's put it this way: by the time we moved out of that house, the houses on either side of us were vacant. The people that had lived to the right of us had lived in that place for 30 years, and they moved out. The house immediately across the street not only was empty, but the kitchen burned down, and I've got a good story about that. And then the house catty corner from that was where Blinktron and his girlfriend at the time, I don't know if you want me to...
We don't talk about that.
Okay, but that's where they lived. We were having, I mean, I don't even know if it was a party. We just had loud music playing, and we were all drunk, and this lady comes tearing ass across the street and runs up our front steps and is hammering on the door, and we're like, what? She's like, my kitchen's on fire, call 911. we were so poor that we didn't even have a fucking phone line in the house, right? Because there were no cell phones then. It was all hard line. So we were like, we don't have a phone. She's like, no, seriously, my kitchen's on fire. And we're like, no, seriously, we don't have a phone. So she had to tear off over to the neighbors to get to call 911. And I don't know, I guess something greaser, I mean, Lord knows whatever caught on fire there. But we just sat there and watched the kitchen burn until the until the fire department showed up. And oh man, we just had some ridiculous parties in that place. We had so much fun. And well, we have some fun that I probably shouldn't even talk about in an open forum like this. But anyway, that was that the second? I think that was the second place I ever lived. Like when I moved out on my own. And yeah, I just think, and because when we were living across the street from one another, you and I would get together. We would talk SCA archery and geeky stuff like that too. I remember that. And then Phil. Sorry, Pagan Tech. Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
I think the earliest really distinct and just to me mind-blowing memory that I have. Did you or did you not once drive a Fiero, a Pontiac Fiero?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Did you or did you not alter the steering wheel?
Oh yeah.
by
cut it
on the top arc off, right?
Yeah, and the bottom. I cut it into like a flight yoke.
Yeah, it was like
It was a Knight Rider. It was a Knight Rider wheel.
You were living in like a trailer at the time, I think.
Yeah,
and
many times, but
I think Green and I stopped by there, and he was like, "You got to see this," and you were like, "Oh, come and check this out! Look what I did to my car!" And I was thinking, rims or a paint job or a stereo. I was like, "No, look, I hacksawed the steering wheel." I was like, "What?"
I did.
It looked really cool though. It was awesome. It was
great.
Man.
It's fun to drive.
Yeah.
That little thing went 110 down the road. It weighed maybe a half a ton, and it got great mileage. But
yeah, a good friend of mine, you guys might remember Bill. He and I graduated in the same class. He got a red. It had to have been either an '87 or an '88 Fiero for graduation, essentially, and he and I packed that thing up. Now, you remember how small a Fiero is. It's really a tiny car to begin with. It's mid-engine, so there's like no trunk space, and then there's like in the front, there's like room for a ream of paper, and that's about it. We packed that thing, the frunk, yeah. We packed that thing and drove it all the way up to West Virginia to hang out in West Virginia for like a month with my grandparents and my friends up there. I don't remember riding with anything on my lap, but I mean, if you had anything bigger than like a wallet, it wouldn't fit in the back, and it wouldn't fit in the front. So I had to have had something in maybe in the wheel well or something. I don't know.
In that white Fiero where I was living at the trailer, we had I had two roommates, Patrick and Debbie, and the three of us in the Fiero took camping gear, a cat, and the other two sitting in the passenger seat, and we drove to Table Rock. We drove to South Carolina and went camping with the Fiero. You want to talk about cramped?
Well, and I think Bill's Fiero at least had remember some of them had like the little, maybe we used that. Remember they had the little rack on the back and it had the things on there so you weren't sitting stuff right there on the paint. I think it had that. So we might have strapped something to the back of his car for that trip.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys fit 3 people in that thing. Holy shit, dude.
And camping gear. We had to stop several times to get cramps out, but
you guys had to fold yourselves in half to get in the thing.
Yeah,
that's
was fine. I was the driver. They had to cram themselves, both of them, in the passenger seat.
Yeah, I know. I had to have had maybe some luggage like under my legs or like up in the wheel because I don't have very long legs, so. We were using every bit of available space that we had there. But man, that little car was fun. We switched out and I drove like halfway or whatever. And that little car was fun to drive, man. I tell you what, for a mid-engine, like you said, it weighed, half a ton maybe. I mean,
It was only 1,000 pounds. It was like 1,100 or 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, I mean that thing would get up and go pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Those cars were
Yeah,
so
it had a
light,
little-
fart
yeah.
on them and they would roll over.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about plus you get passed by a semi on the highway and you're like getting blown all over the road by
Yeah.
the thing.
Casey has popped into chat and he's wanting to tell everybody that it's now about comics. And I'm like, no, Casey, it's
That's
about
his
bullshit.
That's just what I was to say.
It's about our bullshit. So, yes. Hi, Casey. Everybody say hi, Casey. Yeah, there we go.
Hi, Casey.
Anyways.
That was a real one. Anyway.
Oh,
man.
Oh,
woo.
beauty.
Oh, man. Delight a match. So who else has like memories or just something that really sparks or makes you laugh of anybody else here in the call? And
I've got one.
okay, good.
Green. So at the pit, as most things happen with us, we were playing not Cyberpunk. Sorry, we were playing Call of Cthulhu, and
I don't know where you're going.
It was one of those literally dark, stormy nights. You could hear thunder off in the distance.
Yep.
And he's taking us through this.
And it's rainy and windy. It is a stormy, dark, stormy night.
As in, you can hear the limbs brushing up against the side of the house as the wind is blowing by.
Nice.
And we're going through this graveyard. It was the one right there on Edgefield Road, right?
I think it was one on Two Notch.
Two Notch, okay.
Oh,
But anyway, it was one of those old Southern style, with the big mausoleums and the statues everywhere.
Oh,
and all
no,
that.
you're right. It is Edgefield. It was Edgefield. Okay. The one on Two Notch is a different one, but you're right. You're right.
So he was if anything, he's a great storyteller. But he's getting into the story, and he says, you come up to this statue, and basically we figure out there's a secret entrance, and as soon as it opens up, he's like, and as soon as the statue starts to move and the entrance opens up, lightning strikes. And in the real world, lightning struck outside the window right behind where he was sitting. All of us, I swear to God, all of us teleported from that side of the room, which was the main living room, Tommy, all the way back into the bedrooms. Nobody remembers how we got there. It just kind of happened. And we all decided, okay, we're done for the night. Because we were already pretty spooked as it was, because it was a Call of Cthulhu game. It's all about the horror.
I had totally forgotten about that until you reminded me of it a few months back.
I'm lucky I did not end up with wet pants or brown pants.
Brown pants, yeah.
That was definitely next.
See, I'm lobbing them up for you, and you're delaying it. Come on, man.
Building the anticipation.
Yeah. Building up the pressure.
That's right.
And as for you, Mr. Tommy, Pagan Tech's memory is kind of, holy shit, I know you type thing, and that was about it. When I was working at Club Car, got in touch with the company he was working for about getting some, modem lines put in, and I was like, wait, I know you. So not really that exciting. But with Tommy, the one thing that keeps coming to mind is when we went to Pantera in Colombia.
Yeah.
It was me, you, Jack. I think it was Stevie.
It's either Stevie or maybe.
Was it Stevie or Chris?
It was either Stevie or it was Bill.
But anyways, it was that concert because that was fucking insane. So we watched Pantera blow the fucking doors off the building,
right,
and then said fuck it to the second band and went backstage after that.
The second band was Skid Row. We actually skipped Skid Row so we could get back because I had backstage passes so we could get backstage and hang out.
That was an absolute blast.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who all did go to that show because obviously it was you and I.
I almost went. I really wanted to go, but I had some bullshit. I had to get up at like I think I just started working morning management at Pizza Hut, and I had to be up at like 6 a.m.
Oh
So
man.
the two of us and who? Who else?
Say again.
Who else was it? Was you and I and who?
It was Jack and someone else. I thought it was Stevie.
I don't know. I'd
Maybe it
have
was
to ask.
Gopher.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Chris. Because Jack lived in Columbia. Maybe did we? Yeah, maybe did we?
There's Jack there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it must have been. It had to have been Stevie. Yeah, because that doesn't seem like something that Bill would have been into. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
leaning towards the Stevie side, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm with you. I'm leaning towards Stevie as
that
well.
was an
Yeah.
absolute blast.
Yeah, that was a fun show. Yeah, I got so very stoned because they brought out a huge, like a Walmart bag of pot. I mean, it was literally, and it was full. He's like, I was like, oh damn, here we go.
And he didn't have to smoke it; he just had to stay in the room, and you would
Yeah,
get.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's true actually. Oh man, and Green, what about you? Anything stands out? I mean, I know between everybody in this call, you've probably got a million of those moments between all of us, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. One of my favorite memories of Mr. Hadley, pardon me, Pagan Tech. We met at Burnt Mills Haunted Plantation, which is basically, you know what a haunted house is. You know, a Halloween haunt, you pay $5, you go in, ooh, people in costume trying to scare you. Well, this was a haunted hayride at Burnt Mills Haunted Plantation in Aiken, South Carolina. And it is a Christmas tree farm part of the year. And it's just like a few hundred acres. It's a massive piece of property. Well, they converted it into this haunted hayride. It was about mid-September when they held auditions, and in the couple of weeks leading up to opening night, which was, I think, the media night was the weekend before October, and then the first week in October was actually opening night. That seems to be a thing. Working at the Queen Mary, they did the same thing. The first weekend or the first night was the media. Well, it was very early on. I was what they called a roamer. Every night I did something different, and then Pagan Tech. What was the doctor's name?
Oh, the Mad Doctor.
Yeah.
Damn, first year I was the victim. Second year I was the doctor. Okay. I just remembered it being the doctor.
Oh, there was a name. Well, Pagan Tech plays this mad doctor and he's experimenting on people. Well, we meet and we hit it off and we've been best friends ever since. And that's actually when I saw the white Fiero with the altered thing.
That thing was awesome.
Well, there was one night when there was just everybody had, like halfway through the season, everybody had kind of finally settled into their roles. And somebody gave me a warm Dr. Pepper. Tommy, you know where this is going.
Yeah, I think I do.
Now, Burton Mill is, like I said, the whole area is several acres wide. And there was a hay-covered tractor trailer where the people would sit on it and people would go through this ride. And the ride periodically stops. So it's a huge piece of property. You can't see somebody at the other end standing. I mean, it's massive. Well, if you were to look at Burton Mill from the side, it's kind of flat, and then it goes up a hill, and the people meet to get their tickets up here. And then the haunted hayride goes down a hill, and then goes into this long track where it follows this road around and everything.
Into the swamp.
I was going back up front. I think I needed to change costume or some such. But this is when somebody brought me a warm Dr. Pepper. And as I'm going up the hill, I just fuck it and I belched very, very loudly. Now, at this particular time in my youth, I would never do this today.
No.
At this particular time in my youth, I was doing this a lot. And I wasn't the only one in this group of people doing that.
No.
Some of us have a natural edge over the competition. But that being said, still, I can get pretty damn loud. So I just kind of belched, and I wasn't trying to. I just said, blah, and I'm done. And I kept on walking up the hill. I do it again like twice on my way back. And all of a sudden, I start hearing radio chatter about what the fuck was that? And I have no idea what they're talking about. Well, they're talking about, and I hear two different managers talking about on my way back to where I met in the ride. I almost back, Pagan Tech Mad Doctor was almost where I was, so I just kind of stopped and BS for a moment. And he asked, "Was that you?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Everybody in the plantation heard it.
Yes.
Everybody. So after that, I started doing it deliberately. And I could see Pagan Tech snickering when I'd be coming back, when I'd be walking back toward him to go back to my spot. And we would just make jokes about that all the damn time.
I can imagine people on the hayride hearing that going, what the hell was that?
It's the
Because
swamp
it was hard
monster.
to ride.
It legitimately echoed.
That's
It
great.
wasn't just loud. No, it was rah, rah.
That's amazing.
But I started doing that. Oh, they finally put a stop to it, and they finally found out who it was and asked me to stop.
Boo.
Do you think I did?
No.
Because it turned out I wasn't the only one that could do that. And I don't remember who it was, but there was another guy who would do it, but he wasn't quite as loud, but you could hear him.
I
But
didn't know
it
what
was,
happened. I usually throw up.
okay, that's going to be my story with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is back about, it was about early 90s, I think.
Probably, yeah. Early.
So it's like a Friday, no, it's like a Thursday after, it's like sometime in the week. It's not even a weekend. I was really bored. I called up Tommy. Hey, Tommy, I'm bored, man. I want to hang out. So I drive over to his place, and after a little while, oh, we're bored, man. What are we going to do? So we decided we're going to go to Dairy Queen. We live in North Augusta, and we're about to head over the 13th Street Bridge, and it just takes for fucking ever. And I finally turned around, and I went down to another bridge about 2 miles down the road. Crossed over back over the river with no problem. I had to go right past to the traffic light we were waiting to get to start with. And those motherfuckers were still at the traffic light.
Yeah, there was an accident or something, wasn't there?
It was something there. I don't remember what exactly, but the people that we were waiting behind were still in the same damn spot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we started going down. We started on down, and we went to the Dairy Queen on at Daniel Village, which is right by an airport in Augusta.
Central.
So we get in there, and there's not a lot of people in there. And we order our food, and we're just sitting there talking in their booths. And then finally, there's like no one there at all. No one in the Dairy Queen except Tommy and I. And about 3 booths behind him is this little old lady. And she's just sitting there eating her fries and her drink. And Tommy just very nonchalantly, no big announcement, no build-up, just now, I'm accustomed to this because I do it too, and we do it to crack ourselves up. I don't think anything of it. But I can see the lady about 2 booths behind him just do this whole.
Mm.
So I tell Tommy, and he doesn't fucking miss a beat. He just turns around and goes, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I usually throw up. She gets up and leaves. Now, a follow-up to that story. About a month later, same thing. I'm bored. What are we going to do? Let's go to Dairy Queen. So we go to a different Dairy Queen, the one down at Washington Road towards Evans.
Yeah.
We get there. It's packed. It's like a Friday night. There's all kinds of folks in there. Well, we are seated on one side. Again, just minding our fucking business. On the other side is this table of about 4 high schoolers. And one of them has decided to start trying to belch. But he's not just going bleh, he's going like, baby, oh baby, as a belch. He does this about twice, and I'm looking at Tommy and I'm just going,
Weak.
is this a challenge? And he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Why? I'm just not going to do it. So finally, after about 2 more times, he's like, I'm tempted to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just waiting. I'm gonna aim away from the mic. We hear him again, and it's just him cracking up his friends. Nobody else is laughing except us. We hear, oh baby, and Tommy just yeah. And the 4 of them at their table, it's like it's collected. You could feel the oxygen levels in the place drop. They were trying to breathe so hard. So they start going back and forth. Oh baby, and just the 6 of us are dying. Tommy and I against them, and meanwhile we can see one person after another getting up and leaving the restaurant.
Yeah, we cleared the place out.
We did. Tommy and I were the last 2 there. The 2 kids finally left, and we were both like, yeah, serves them right. Victory. So as we're leaving,
Shall not stand.
as we're leaving, the people behind the register just looked at us and went, thank you.
Needed that entertainment, huh?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that was funny as hell.
Speaking of Bill, one of my favorite stories is Green and Bill and myself hopped in my car and went to Atlanta, ostensibly to go to the water park. Well, my car, one of the
Tires, the axles.
Yeah, one of the axles. Thank you. One of the axles seized up, and we didn't make it, obviously. So we had to we're gonna have to call somebody. They're gonna have to drive out there. Like, okay, well, let's get a taxi, and we'll go to the nearest mall because at least it'll be air conditioned. We can get something to eat and hang out and wait to get picked up. So, and to this day, I don't even remember what mall it was, but we get to this. We got a taxi. We get to the mall. And I mean, this is like we got up early and we didn't eat or anything. So I mean, it was a long time. We had to wait for. So we finally get to this mall, and of course, there's a McDonald's in the mall. Like, sweet, let's go eat. So we get there and we go to like the pile of, and we're just like, oh, because we were all just starving to death. We're like, what? Go ahead.
You left out one point.
Okay.
When we walked into McDonald's,
Oh, yeah.
Tommy pronounces, I feel the need to let forth with a belt of epic proportions before we leave. He actually said it.
Oh, dude.
He said it. So
we sit down. I say we're just eating and drinking because we were just starving to death. We hadn't had any, and I remember sitting there and we were all just like hunched over, eating and eating and eating. And then finally I went, oh no, we were exiting, weren't we? We had finished. Go ahead.
Bill and I finished before you did.
Oh yeah.
Because we knew you were going to do it. And as we were leaving, Bill and I both kind of slowly start picking up the pace. Bill and I look back, and Tommy's got this look of, gonna do it. So Bill and I get out of the McDonald's into the mall part where it opens up. Now where we are standing is at the base of an escalator rather, coming down, and there's like a couple benches around it, and this is right outside of McDonald's. Bill and I get out of the McDonald's, and we're trying to walk faster.
Out of the blast radius.
And there it came. Yeah. Here came the blast. We are out in the mall when he lets it go. We're looking down the mall, and everybody just turns. I mean, it fucking reverberates down the mall. Bill and I are laughing so hard we are collapsing on the damn benches.
Okay.
Just holy crap, trying to get to the benches and not pass out.
That's hilarious.
And out comes Mr. Keeling with this look of,
Like, I told you.
It looks like the cat that finally got the bird.
Oh.
Oh my god.
And then the time that I vibrated the water in the back of Pizza Hut,
Oh my god.
it almost killed Angela in the process.
And Ben.
And Ben, I forgot about Ben.
So you pulled a T-Rex on the water, huh?
Yeah, but
I'll save the story part of this.
okay.
I swear to God, I've never seen this before. He belched so loud, it vibrated the water in the sink like a goddamn T-Rex stomp.
Wow.
I'll blame the
Oh
Mountain
my,
Dew.
Lord.
Blame the Mountain Dew. That's right.
Mhm.
Oh my God, it was hysterical. It was epic.
Oh man, yeah.
It was absolutely epic.
Oh man, I don't do those things anymore though. Because I'm grown up.
No, you don't.
Unfortunately.
Not at all.
No.
And, we still let them rip sometimes.
I smell deception.
I might be lying.
That's not deception. Did you smell?
Tommy sus.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, Phil, do you have anything in particular to add to this particular nostalgia train here?
Oh man, my memory's really weird because I remember slices in time, not
Yeah.
necessarily entire episodes. Like I remember being at Green's and we were playing with the game that was the Nintendo's VR headset on the kitchen table, and I remember that we had rented it from Blockbuster.
Oh, you mean the Virtual Boy?
Virtual
Yeah,
Boy. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we rented that for a couple of days. We were playing that. I remember RPG with Toons, and I think we did a round with Riffs there, and then Alien versus Predator, and then just kind of hanging out in general things. It's weird because these are slices in time. They don't really lead to anything specific as far as humorous goes. I appreciate hearing memories like that because then I can try to put these pieces back together. And it's like that with all my history. In the Navy, I have various slices, and in Alaska, I have various slices. I can remember specific things, but they don't make a story in my head for some reason.
You can remember bits and pieces, but not
Yeah.
whole like
Not enough to.
yeah,
The closest
story.
is I remember living in this absolute shithole of a apartment. I don't remember if it was the one in North Augusta or the one in Augusta, and it's just an absolute shithole. The neighbors were disastrous, and they had gotten the whole place infected with critters.
I remember that. I know
Yes.
exactly what you're talking about.
Critters like fleas or something like that.
No, like roaches.
German cockroaches specifically.
Yes. And I'm asleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm jolted awake by something crawling on my eardrum. And I'm freaking out. And who do I call? Green Bear. I go screaming over there. And you were at Bill's, weren't you?
Yeah.
I'm standing outside the house, banging my head, trying to shake this thing out of my ear. It was so horrible.
Damn.
It was horrible.
Oh, I've got a thing with my ears, and that's just like nightmare for me. That's just the worst.
The humorous part was me banging my head. I guess it was. Yeah, it's just bang, 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 bang. It's not coming out. Bang, 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 bang.
Jerry, do you have any particular amusing things that you remember about? I mean, because Green lived with us down here for a while, and
Yeah.
for most of your life, and
Blinktron.
Uh-oh.
Do you? Okay.
No, what? Go ahead. You had me worried.
Okay. I'm going to. You'll probably. I don't know if you remember it as clearly as I do. This is up for debate. A certain other friend who shares the same first name.
With me.
Do you? Yes.
Okay.
Do you remember the incident with his cat named Love?
Depends. Were we smoking or not? I don't think so. I think we were smoking.
You were smoking.
Yes.
Then
The
no.
short answer is no.
Then no, you
This is
don't
the
remember.
time I was first getting to know you because I met you through
Oh.
Mr. Bissell, through him. Our mutual friend who shares the same name at one point was not a particularly stable individual.
No.
Now I've gotten to know him again in the past decade, and he's straightened his life up and he's doing good. That being said, at this particular time in his youth, he was not a responsible or very stable individual.
No.
There was one weekend, I think it may have been the day we watched Jabberwocky, but it was you, me, and it was the three of us. And he had, it was either LSD or acid.
That's the same thing.
Same thing.
Okay.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
He had 5 hits of it.
I mean, I've heard. I don't know, of course. but, yeah.
I don't.
No, it
I
is.
don't. I've never done anything like that, and I haven't. He had 5 hits of it in his room, and it was his intent to take one, and offered us one before we started watching Jabberwocky. Well, he went up to his room and couldn't find them.
Oh, I think I
We
know where.
already know where
no.
this is going.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
He couldn't find them, and we looked all over. We turned that room upside down looking for it. He starts to panic because, oh my God, maybe mom found him. Oh God, what's going on? And he just starts really wigging out. So Patrick and I finally calm him down. So we're all sitting down in the living room. It's not funny, but it's funny. He has this big old fluffy cat named Love. And Love was a love. And Love comes voguing is the best word. Comes voguing into the living room.
Oh no.
She's like taking half a step and then a half a step and then a half a step. And she finally, and the three of us are just going, we of course we know immediately what's going on, and we're just watching her. And Patrick, our friend, starts cracking up because he of course gets it first. And Love finally makes her way into the middle of the room, and she just stands there. And then, like a balloon, very slowly losing its air, she just drops to the floor like a sphinx. And she's just there. And we don't really say anything. We're just having this moment of, oh shit, we know where the acid went. And after a minute, our friend stands up, and again, remember, not very stable individual, says, watch this.
Oh no.
He jumps up in the air and yells and comes down and slams the floor on either side of her with his hands, making this tremendous boom. And she doesn't move. She just slowly raises her head and looks at him like, your balls are mine. You did this to me. She was ultimately fine.
That's good.
But it was kind of stop and go there for a few days. Stop and go. Stop motion. But that was around the time I was first getting to know this guy.
Oh, okay.
And that was
That was a rather
Actually-
bonding experience.
yes, it was. Putting up with this other person who later on became a very good friend of mine. Like I said, he straightened his act up. He really did.
Oh, that's good.
But at that time, ooh, that was a trying. That was a thing. That was a thing.
So not tonight, but maybe we will save this for maybe we'll do like a special edition and have JD on here at some point, maybe closer to October or Halloween. Maybe we should do an episode or two of the Round Table of Fools regarding the Sam Hain Smash.
Oh my God.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's and yeah, we'll have to get JD in on this. And man, who else could we? I wonder who else we could rope in.
There's a lot of folks who went to the Smash that are still friends of ours.
Yeah.
Mr.
The
Garner,
Mad
for
Bomber.
one.
Oh,
Who?
yeah. Rick.
Mr. Garner.
Yeah, the Mad Bomber.
Oh, the Mad Bomber, yes.
Oh, is that why he dressed up with the
The trench coat.
dynamite that year?
Yeah.
Did you not
Yeah.
hear that story?
No.
Oh god. Okay, we need to save that one.
Yeah.
But
There's 1,000 stories. Never mind the party. There's 1,000 stories that lead up to and surround and post party.
yes, not actually at the party,
Right.
because Mr.
So-
Garner's story is before the party and on the way there.
So what we are referring to, and like I say, we'll do some special episodes later on, but the Sam Haines Smash was a Halloween, at its very base, it was a Halloween party thrown by a handful of people for friends and friends of friends. And towards the end of its run, we were drawing 200, 300
Oh.
people.
It was more than that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
more than that. Of the final one that we did at the park,
Yeah.
Mhm.
there was over 500 people showed up.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
That was the
And-
one that sticks out in my memory.
yeah, there were that's just so many memories, so many stories, it's just so much ridiculousness. We may actually even have to drag Tim in on this. You may need to convince him to come on microphone and get him talking, because he
I'll
was
let him sit in right here.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he was one of the main sort of what's the word I'm looking for?
Antagonist or protagonist? Which one are you?
Protagonist. Protagonist of the
In
party.
Tim's defense,
Yes.
it was his permission that allowed us to use the place we did that we made the party
Oh
at.
yeah, oh for sure. Oh yeah, definitely.
First couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually preferred the parties that we did out at the pit around the big bonfire as opposed to up there at the park. But the ones up there at the park were just freaking huge and epic. But anyway, we'll definitely do some planning, and we'll have to do maybe even a couple of episodes, or maybe just like one long one, and I'll split it into a couple of parts or something. Because we'll have to get JD in here, and I say maybe we'll get Tim. Well, you've got an area microphone there, Tim. You and Tim could both speak and be picked
Yeah.
up on that microphone. So
Easily.
Yeah, cool. All right, yeah, that sounds good. Maybe I'll maybe I'll get Bailey on the mic or something. Maybe we'll drag him in here too. He's a busy guy though, so I don't know if I don't know what his availability is, but we'll see. But that would make a good episode or two, I think. So we'll file that away and maybe do that closer to Halloween time, or at least closer to October. Instead of
Yeah,
here
that'll
in
be fun.
the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, good. All right. That sounds awesome. All right. Well, let's. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours here. At least that's what the counter tells me. So why don't we go ahead and wrap it up? Jerry Formal, do you have any final parting words of wisdom, or any final thoughts?
No.
Okay.
Say again.
Do you have any final thoughts, any words of wisdom?
Stay in school, don't do drugs.
Stay in drugs, don't do school. Okay.
Sure.
Green Bear, give us your final plugs and thoughts.
Final plugs and thoughts. Lots of plans, lots of working on things for stream. Later this month, I'll be having oral surgery, so I'm not sure what my speaking ability will be like. But I've got that, and that is going to greatly impact my streaming schedule, and a few other things that I'm working on. I don't know how it's going to affect them, but lots of good changes coming, lots of good things coming, and I'm having just an absolute blast streaming.
Awesome.
Twitch.tv / the Green Bear. Come see me sometime.
Cool. Peggy Tech.
Every chance I get.
Yeah, that's twitch.tv / PAGANTEK, Pagan Tech. Usually streaming some sort of, like I said before, flight sim or science, space stuff. Not too much in the first-person shooters. Maybe even some Fallout 76, if I feel like it. Maybe.
Ew.
No, it's actually gotten a little better. It's not the dumpster fire it was. It's
Ew.
just a burning trash can. It's not full dumpster fire.
Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah. Do some Left 4 Dead 2. Yeah, that's true. That's about. I would get into a game if my friends are there. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
no,
so we get the 4 of us together, and
Left 4 Dead 2 is not a game I would normally sit and just play on my own. It's a lot more fun when you're playing with friends and BSing over the over the comms and stuff. So yeah, for sure.
we have had a statement in chat that from Bjornoff saying, "Never challenge Tommy to a belching contest." Truer words have never been said.
That's a no shit.
And then this particular show will stream at youtube.com/pagantech. Is that not correct?
That is correct. It'll be stored there, added to the Roundtable of Fools playlist. You can catch all of the past episodes. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and share it out to your friends. Let them know about Roundtable of Fools.
Yeah, definitely spread the word, because that's what we're here for. We are here to bring the stupidity, the entertainment, and the silliness directly to your desktop. So
That was perfect.
That was perfect. Did you have something to say there, Blinktron, or was
Just wanted to let you know I had one more plug.
Oh, stop it. Oh, damn. All right, we're getting silly. Anyway, for me, it's SteamDeck.com, and it's twitch.tv/malignant gnome. I don't know what I will be streaming there, but I will be streaming something there. So tune in, because you never know. And subscribe, or I don't know if there's a Twitch, or follow my Twitch channel. Actually, I don't know if it's a subscription, but follow. I think it is. So, yeah, just hit stnradio.com for the schedule, and that's where you'll find me. So there we go. I think that is going to just about wrap it up after this kind of chaotic and honestly kind of fun episode.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to do it. So thank you for tuning in and listening and putting up with our random silliness for the last couple hours or whatever this turns out to be. And with that, we will see you guys next week, and I will turn it over to Pagan Tech.
Well, thank you, Tommy, and thanks everybody for sticking around for the Roundtable of Fools. These idiots, nincompoops, and ne'er-do-wells. We've wasted enough of your time, and we're headed off into the sunset for tonight. Have a great rest of your day.